Hey everybody, welcome back to Feece School. Today we are going to be doing how to write a great story for a film, for a book, whatever you want. But there is a structure to it and there's a method to it, and we're going to get into that today. So buckle your seatbelts and get ready for how to write a story. Feece School number 39, bros. So when you're going to start a story and you don't have any idea what to write about, just brainstorm. Think of simple plots. Don't think of extreme plots that may dilute into different plots. And you're going to want to start with one plot idea. One plot idea, and then develop that. A great way to think of plot ideas is to invite friends over. This is because maybe they have ideas you can't think of. Maybe you have ideas they can't think of, and collaborating can definitely help figure out what a good story would be. And throwing around pitches like, oh, what if maybe there's a character who loses all his money and he has to deal with whatsoever? Or maybe there is a character who gets a huge opportunity and he has to evolve in it. But there has to be a specific theme and plot. Now, the breakdown is just basically fleshing out where each point of the story is going to lead up to. So, lots of different writers do it different ways, but it generally is the same structure. Remember to have one plot and don't have two different plots in your story, or else it's just gonna not even be a story. So there are different ways you can define this so-called writing structure, but this is the way I'm gonna do it. First, you gotta start with the introduction. What is the story about? But it's very important to have an attention getter, defining what the story's going to be about, but also getting the audience's attention. For example, I'm just going to make up any story. Jurassic Park, what's the first thing you see? You see, I don't know, like, remember that scene where that monster gets out of the cage and starts eating people? That's a definition of what the movie's going to be about. Shawshank Redemption, what's the first thing you see? You see a dramatic car, a gun, and then him going to jail. That's a definition. It's going to be about something. A lot of drama, a lot of intense scenes. There are so many examples, but you want to start off your story, whether it's a book, whether it's a movie, with a definition of what the whole film will be about in one idea as an introduction. The next thing, the plot. Fly? How is there flies outside? They're always inside. Okay, the plot begins. Now, this could be a problem, this could be something good, but it's something the character will have to develop towards. So the third point of the structure is the evolution. So the introduction, defining what the story is, the problem starts, and then the evolution. The character has to do something because this happened. So once the character is evolving to this problem, which is part 3 of the script story structure, then he's going to adapt to it. This is kind of like, you know, the training montage in Rocky. He's adapting to the situation. And then something changes. Something changes the plot. Let's go with The Wizard of Oz. So in The Wizard of Oz, they get what they want. They meet the Wizard of Oz because they go all the way to find the Wizard of Oz, but then they have to defeat the evil witch or whatever. That is what I call a change in the story according to the same plot. 6, falling action. The falling action will be something that sort of like defines the wrap up. Like, oh no. For example, same story, Wizard of Oz. Remember the hourglass scene? That's the falling action. Once the hourglass ends, she'll die or whatever. The falling action is something that will, if you don't do this, or something will change. This is where the climax comes in. After something won't be the same as the falling action, the climax is the character facing the problem head on and facing what he has to deal with, or she has to deal with as a character. In The Wizard of Oz, she gets rescued or whatever and faces the evil witch head on. And then, number 8, the end. It wraps up the story. The character learns something. There has to be a theme and a message. The character changes by the end of the script. So that is the breakdown for the story. why me? Anyways, once you have the whole breakdown set up, it's time to start diving into writing your story. Now, anyways, basically, when you write the script, you're gonna make drafts, lots and lots of drafts. When I'm still working on the pilot for the new story at Trey, but here's the story. When I first wrote the first draft of the pilot, I was gonna have Philip and Skylar, my two helpers for a lot of Feece studios, look over it, and maybe they were gonna help voice act, but they looked at it and they said, you can do better than this. So I went again, redid the script, and they said the same thing the second time, and the third time they thought it was good. So basically, have friends look over and keep revising your scripts and flesh it out. No matter, it can always be better, but I also noticed if you edit it too much, then when it's already good enough, then they're just adding on stuff that doesn't need to be added on. So make sure every single scene works up to the plot. Everything you write in your story has to work up to the plot. If there's something unnecessary in the script, it's not gonna make sense, it's just out of place, it's not gonna be interesting. You'll be like, what's the point of that? So basically, that is what my way, and pretty much every universal way, how to write a story. And when you write a story, that's generally how you should do it. You're gonna start with the pitch, you're gonna start with a breakdown, and then you're gonna draft and draft and draft until it's good. So when you write a screenplay, there are so many ways that you shouldn't do it. There's so many ways that can lead to a boring screenplay. So you gotta make sure that everything leads up to the plot, no unnecessary scenes, no unnecessary lines, because everything has to work up to a message or a theme or the plot in itself. So those are the 3 steps: pitch, breakdown, and drafting. And if you want to see more of these videos, subscribe. And also, my next Feece school, I'm thinking about doing how to study well, because we're taking a lot of online classes right now, so why not just do a video on study skills? Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'm posting a Feece radio today. Stay tuned. Yeah.